That's quite clear. Venkata Karthik, Rohit Reddy, Rajnikant, and Shravana. Interesting. Well, let's start with the contents of the syllabus. Managerial economics is divided into 5 blocks. The very first block consists of 3 units. Yes. You have managerial economics subject as in Shravana. I hope all those who are attending this class has the managerial economics session, and you must have been even circulated the schedule of the classes, which includes managerial economics, isn't it? Right. All right. So let's begin with, if any queries you can raise, you can unmute yourself and speak up, or you can use even your chat box. All right. So here we go with block 1 consisting of 3 units, which is all about the basics, very fundamentals of managerial economics, theories of the firm, which includes further nature and scope of managerial economics. What is a firm? Objectives, decisions, and the theories which are connected to the firms. Okay, optimization concepts. See, economics is all about the scarce resources which are managed, which are optimized in order to fetch the best out of the available resources. The resources are said to be scarce, and how do you optimally use the available resources is all about, optimization, wherein you will learn the various tools and techniques which you could probably adopt in the, let's say, a real world, the techniques, and analyze with the available resources, the scarce resources. Not all the resources always often found to be abundantly available. There are certain, in fact, there are many, certainly, many resources for a firm which happens to be scarce. So how do you manage them and derive optimal benefit out of it is what managerial economist is supposed to do. Okay. So here we go with the third unit, which will elaborate on the various techniques, tools adopted by economists in order to optimally use the available resources, scarce resources, etc. Then we have block 2, which consists of demand and supply, wherein you can see there are 4 units, which consist of all these 4 units happens to discuss about all demand and supply, and how demand and supply each one will have impact on the various other, resources, and how do economists manage the demand and supply. Certainly, they happens to analyze certain things by adopting certain techniques of demand and supply, and they try to forecast and predict the demand and supply of a particular firm for a particular industry. Okay, and based on which the economists suggest the firms to adopt certain strategies which probably may fetch them the good, optimum outcome at the end. And then we have block 3, which is all about production analysis. Production analysis is all about the function which is being created by economists. This production function deals with the resources which are available for a given firm. Some certain resources which are found to be, constant, certain which are fixed and few which are variable. So that way they have been divided and they've been analyzed for utilizing them properly. And then out of the available, again in the short run and long run, there could be differences in the production analysis. Short run seems to be less than 5 years and long run seems to be above 5 years, which probably will have impact on our decision making. So here you're going to learn about the various, uh, challenges that you probably face during short run as an economist, and then later long run may what else better you could flexibly do, because it's all about long run and you have the liberty to change your variables even to fixed assets. So that way you'll have time abundantly available where you can shift your variables to fixed. Okay. So followed by you have fourth block. Screen is not visible to Sirisha. May I know others, those who are in the room?
Visible, ma'am.
Is it on the screen, which is showing blocks content?
Yes, ma'am. Visible.
Okay, done. Good. Yeah. So fourth block is all about cost analysis and profit analysis. So this particularly happens here. You will probably learn about various cost in functions, cost techniques which can be adopted in order to minimize the cost and maximize the profits in both short and long term. Followed by fifth block is all about the various external factors. See, all these 1, 2, 3, and 4 blocks, you will be only focusing on learning the internal, part of the industry, which probably had control. The elements that are like labor, land, and materials, they can be controlled to a great extent. Okay, all these 4 units focus on analyzing each one of them in detail, and then follow by you will be in a position to draft how for a firm, given firm, you can have a function which they probably use it in order to uh, forecast their demand, supply, prices for a given product, etc. May I request someone here who's on with me having disturbance? Mehboob Muhammad. Yeah. So fifth unit is all about external factors. See, a company runs in a market which is surrounded by various forces, internal and external. So here comes in the fifth unit all about external forces which drive your company towards the profitability, or sometimes even push you back in this stiff competitive market. So in short, if you look at the fifth unit, it's all about understanding the external environment, and followed by when you understand the external environment and the industry as such, then an economist would probably be in a position to forecast, at the same time give proper uh, ideas, strategies to the firm and to the industry with respect to the growth, with respect to the profitability in the short run as well as in the long run. So that way it will benefit in understanding the external market. And these external market, the various forces that drives you, though they are not to great extent in control, but by understanding them, you can play a safe game. So here in this fifth unit, which consists of fifth block, 4 units, consisting of what is a perfect competition, what is a monopoly, monopolistic competition, oligopoly, duopoly, and in given all these kind of different types of market structures, how the pricing strategies are adopted by them is understood. So as to understand the present status of your own firm and fit them accordingly. Once you understand, suppose in your trying to connect to oligopoly, your firm is slightly adhering to the qualities or characteristics of oligopoly, and your firm seems to be oligopoly. So how an oligopolistic market behave, what are the dangerous challenges which can be probably faced, and what should be do's and don'ts list, how the planning should be, all this when you are equipped with, this will give you an exact view of your firm, which enables you to draft your own strategies, which includes pricing strategy as all right. So this way, this managerial economic subjects covers maximum all about the internal and external, that is the market structure. Basic fundamentals it starts with. Moving on, you will be learning about demand and supply, production, cost analysis, and then end up with the understanding of market structures and their pricing decisions. All right. Any queries until here? Block 1 to block 5? All right. So we move on. So this is your block 1, nature and scope of managerial economics. So what is managerial economics? Managerial economics is just the application of economic theory and the method or the technique for making a decision, which are faced by both private and public institutions. This particular function enables you to make a wise decisions given the uncertainty of the market structure. So this managerial economic subject equips one to rationally understand the part of not just the investor to maximize the returns on their investments, but also the consumers to maximize the satisfaction in whatever they are buying. Okay, so managerial economics is all about the borrowing and adopting of certain kits in the economic theory, and incorporating these ideas or these kind of disciplines in achieving a better business decisions. Okay, this serves as a catalyst. And in other words, if you look at managerial economics, it is about both challenging and a rewarding subject. It is, yes, it is a powerful tool to understand and think extraordinary, and tries to provide the phenomenal, uh, edge-breaking, decisions in real-time situations of a firm where they are functioning. Okay. If you look at why should one study economics, what is the reason behind, and why you need to study all about economics. See, economics is a study about all variables, it is, a study about the various elements that a production includes, like labor, land, capital, okay, prices, and how all these are allocated, in order to fulfill the goal of the organization or the firm or the, say, industry. And so this explores the individual financial markets, analyzes how it should be allocated, and then probably distributes the income and suggests what is the best option without harming not just the individual firms and industry, but also to the economy. So that way, economics is very important and a very significant subject one should know as an, a student, as an economist, to better understand. When you probably look at a company, a firm, or an industry, and tries to predict something about that industry, first you need to fundamentally understand that, economics. And those economics, consist of the various elements which are included in it. And those elements are none other than the land, labor, and the available resources. All these resources, how are they managing? If you are probably anyone who would be interested in understanding the firm, whether as an investor or as an employee or as an forecaster, speculator, you need to understand so that you make a wise decisions, timely decisions. If you feel like the firm is not in a position to make wise decision by, allocating, by you utilizing the available resources efficiently, then you think it is risky to invest with the company, because the company is not able to, make it possible, though they could do it according to you, but they are not able to. So that way, you probably would be in a position to understand the economics and the various factors which are not just land, labor, material, and the resources what we're talking about. It enables a company, a firm, or an industry to manage the income. It happens to, look at the various options of, spending, taxes, deficits, how growth can, be made, and then also the various business cycles which it happens to journey through, the patterns of trade among nations, analyzing the various impact of trade barriers, and then developing countries proposes various ways to encourage the efficient use of resources. So that way, unemployment also. So economics is a study of all these components. Okay, so hence it becomes a significant, part. And yes. So look at the definitions of economy. According to Milton H. Spencer and Louis, Louis Steinman, managerial economics is an integration of economic theory with business practices for the purpose of facilitating decision making and forward planning by management. Now, if you look at the complete content of this syllabus, it talks about the same as it is given in the syllabus. It is an integration of economic theory as it is to be studied in the from the books, the theories which have been developed by economists. This theory is put up in practice for the purpose of facilitating decision making and thereby attaining a proper planning, okay, by the management. And then if you look at the economics is related with the decision sciences, particularly differential calculus. If anyone from maths background, you would probably understand what I'm trying to tell you. Calculus here. Calculus is a subject which you happen to learn at your intermediate level. You could see here in managerial economics as well, we do adopt the um, calculus here, differential calculus and integral calculus in order to solve the way, do lot of analysis in managerial economics in with respect to demand, supply, cost, production function, and many others. Okay. Look at the nature. It is all about data sciences. It is not just only science, but it is an art as well. How is it art and how is it science? Managerial economics is said to be science because it is backed up by the theories which are developed by the economists, which, for example, are like theory of demand, theory of law of supply, law of demand, okay, law of variable proportion. All these are the various theories based on which we try to understand the present market condition. At the same time, it is particularly, it tries to provide a clue to the aspect of how the problem can be solved. So thus it is said that economics is not only science, but also it is an art that wherein offer the mode of deciding how a particular thing can happen. So that becomes an art. Okay, science is all about the theories which are available, which you probably apply in the real time situation. And the art is all about the, mode of, deciding how you offer them, the way you offer them is all about art. So hence, managerial economics is said to be both science as well as art. Is both positive and normative. In what ways? So fundamentally, if you look at that normative as well as it is prescriptive in nature, it is concerned with the decisions like what is okay. Positive economics is all about what is. The economics has no right to pass a judgment, but simply, they are concerned with the problem of resources which are scarce and the desire to, they show interest in using optimally the available resources and making a wise decisions out of it. So, manufacturers and sale of economics in various manufacturing field relates to this, and they try to connect it to the available resources and thereby make the proper decisions. In case when you call it to be a normative economic is concerned with describing what it ought to be. How what should be the price for this, or how much wages should be paid to them. So this is about normative. Hence, we refer economics, to be positive as well as normative. All right. Then we have monetary economics is both as descriptive and as well as prescriptive. Yes, it explains the various, economic forces which affects the working of a firm, but also it protects the consequences of the decisions. All right. Sorry. So both it is descriptive and prescriptive. And then we have managerial economics, both micro and macro. As you have looked at the content, it not only deals with the demand, supply, allocation of resources, but also it ends up understanding with the various external market structures, how their competitors are behaving and how the other players are behaving, and accordingly the various theories have been developed, and these are all to be applied. So managerial economics is concerned with both micro and macroeconomics. In fact, in today's world, we see economics has been crossed the geographical limits, and it is not confined to only now the geographical limits. It is even global. So all these factors, external factors, comes as macroeconomics. It deals with all the various external factors, and micro is all about the various factors that probably are can be influenced and can be managed to great extent. And here we go with the scope of managerial economics. Now, if you look at the scope of managerial economics, it has seven. And the scope is nothing but the economics, managerial economics that we're talking about is very wide, and it has various dimensions to speak on and then cover. Hence, here we need to understand to what extent we can include in managerial economics and stop. Okay, so that is where the scope is defined. So here, when it comes to managerial economics, it is a study which is confined exclusively with demand analysis and estimation, cost, production, price and output, advertising, investment, profit planning, and management. Anything beyond this seven doesn't come under managerial economics. That's how managerial economics scope is defined. I hope it is clear. Managerial economics, I repeat, is limited to in studying about demand analysis, cost, production, price and output, advertising, investments, profit planning, and management. Okay, and all this chapter wise, one by one, we will be learning and exploring. Okay, then we have economic concepts which are applied to business decisions. So, what are those economic concepts which we apply? Is number one, opportunity cost. Okay, and we have marginal principle. Equi-marginal principle, incremental principle, time perspective, discounting principle. All these are various concepts which we apply in economics, are to be explored, and in detail you will be learning about each one of them in further upcoming classes. Okay, opportunity cost in simple. Oh my God. Yes. So opportunity cost in simple terms, it is useful in making a choice between the various alternatives which are available. As an individual, suppose you have 1 lakh rupee and you wanted to invest. Now, where are you going to invest? You have various investment options. You can retain it in your saving bank accounts. You can go for fixed deposits. You can go for mutual funds. You can invest in recurring deposits. You can invest in gold. You can invest in commodity market. You can invest in equity market, ULIPs. You can invest in insurance companies. N number of options you have available to invest. Okay, so opportunity cost is all about understanding the alternative courses of actions, like action 1, action 2, action 3. That way we try to term them as, and the best out of all the feasible actions that we probably can adopt. Not all the alternatives, we can apply. Out of the list, we will, filter it out, and then we try to understand out of this now what is the best alternative, and that best one is supposed to be referred as opportunity cost. So sometimes even we end up foregoing the benefit which an alternative would probably give us just because of some other benefit that we are deriving. So that particular benefit which you try to, leave, forego, that is referred as an opportunity cost, for which you try to, sacrifice. Probably you end up sacrificing something, expecting something else from other, action. So that is referred as opportunity cost. Then we have equi-marginal principle. Now, what is equi-marginal principle? Equi-marginal principle is defined with an equation where value of marginal product of labor, which is termed as A, is equals to value of marginal product of labor, which is termed as B. Again, value of marginal product of labor, C. So this is symbolically presented as VMPL A is equals to VMPL B is equals to VMPL B. Now, what is this? It is in condition where resources are allocated by determining, by allocating in such a way that the value added by each last unit is the same in all the cases. Okay, in all the cases, the input which is to be allocated should have the same value by the last unit is the same in all the cases. This is popularly called as or referred as equi-marginal. And this is very important in resource allocation. And this principle, is denoted as VMPLA is equals to B is equals to C. Next, we have incremental principle. Now, what is incremental principle? It refers to the total, small change in the total cost or revenue, which is caused due to a specific decision. See, for example, currently I am, going with a particular decision, which probably I wanted to change. Now, because of that change in my decision making, how it is changing the total cost or total revenue which is generated. So that small change is referred as incremental principle. Okay, this change could be positive and also could be negative. This principle is useful in decision involve acceptance or otherwise of orders of utilization of excess capacity, etc. Then we have time perspective. Time perspective is all about, short run and long run, which is very important for decision making. So anytime a firm is sitting in order to make a strategic decision, firstly that they look at is the time. How much time do they have? If they have long run time, then they consider it to be an advantageous and they make lot many changes. In fact, the variables which are said to be in the short run variables, those also tend to modify in the long run because they have enough time to shift, change the variables, fixed, variables to variables which are, which cannot be changed in the short run can be changed in the long run. Okay, so that type of, changes can be made in the long run. So time perspective, when strategic decision making happens, time plays an important role. Then we have discounting principle. This discounting principle is incalculable. It has got a lot of risk and uncertainty. One should know that a rupee today is, of course, a worth more than the rupee after an year or so. This mathematical formula that is you can see on the screen, PV is equals to A by 1 plus. This is all about the discounting technique, which you might have learned in financial management. So with this mathematical technique, we try to, understand the discounting principle, which is even applied in partially economics. Okay. So PV here stands for the present value. A here refers to annuity. That is year-long expected returns. And then I here stands for the rate of interest that has been charged. So any rupee which is invested to be is considered, is said to be growing day by day. Okay, so that way we happen to use all these principles in order to understand the various situations and make the wise business decisions. All right. So at the end, you have certain some self-assessment questions which you can probably look at, and then you have relationship with other disciplines, how managerial economics is related to other subjects like econometrics, and how it is connected to statistics, operations, accountancy, and psychology. Yes, the economics is connected to all these disciplines. If you look at economics as econometrics, it does contribute in developing various theories, concepts, tools, techniques, which are very popular. And these all combines with logic and statistical techniques. So even statistics also is connected here with managerial economics, because without statistics, we couldn't construct any techniques here and solve them. So the logic of reasoning behind the numbers and symbols is all about statistics here. You have regression, you have correlation, which you happen to adopt in economics and tries to understand the industry status. And then we have operations research, where linear programming is a very popular technique which is adopted. And this particular operational technique is adopted in order to understand the relationship in the variables, and how it makes a difference as tool. Accountancy, the accountancy is all about expenses, incomes, assets, and liabilities. So managerial economics here happens to provide the data which supports all this economics, like when an economist sits with an understanding and fixing the pricing for a given product of a firm, then it needs to understand the various inflows and outflows. So accountancy department is the one which happens to give all this data, supplies all this data. Similarly is psychology and organizational behavior. As we have just now, a few slides back, we learned that managerial economics is not just a science, but it is also an art of understanding. So managerial economics is even connected to, in fact, had a relationship with psychology and organizational behavior, which analyzes not only the individual behavior of a buyer or a seller, but also the psychology in understanding the various attitudes, motivations, etc. In fact, these are the new disciplines which have been added and understood, applied in the recent gen. But yes, lately these all have been discovered as business models for a firm, and which are heavily dependent on the organizational behavior. The psychology, microeconomics together provides such behavioral models and also explain the economic behavioral of the firm. Okay. So to conclude with, if you look at the summary and the keywords which are available, and here we have certain model examination questions which are divided into short and long run. So with all of you can focus on these exercise question and do solve it. And yeah, if any queries and doubts if you have, please raise up, or we'll end up this session and see you back in the next session, that is tomorrow. And so we move on to the second unit, which is concepts, objectives, issues, and theories of firm. So, all right, this is considered to be no queries from your end. Anyone's? Any queries?
Hello.
Yes.
Madam, actually, I have a doubt.
Please.
How to write the internals and what is the content about them? I mean to ask the practical.
Your voice is not clear. Please, could you please repeat again?
Hello.
Yeah, it is now.
Have a doubt, ma'am. How to write that internals and what is that concept?
Internals.
Yes.
You're talking about internals. Internal question paper kind of material is circulated to you all, and you need to solve them and submit it, which will fetch you some marks.
Okay, ma'am. But how to know that internal question paper? I can't get it.
You did not get it.
Yeah.
Okay. How about others? Did they receive? You have a group, right?
Yeah.
Is it you only who did not receive? You can inquire with Dr. Radhakrishna, sir.
No, ma'am. I received this book only. It
Okay.
means to ebook. This is PDF book. But now I
Okay.
am asking about that. What is internal concept? What we write that internal questions? What is this?
Questions or answers?
Yeah. Also,
Okay,
what
you
is internal questions?
comfortably you can speak in whichever language you want. I am not able to get your right point.
Okay, ma'am. Asking about that. Questions is the internal and how to write it and where submit.
No, I didn't get you still.
I will,
You do one thing, Umar Rani, right? If you have Dr. Radhakrishna sir's number, you please contact him and he will guide you as to what you can do with your internal paper.
Okay.
If I'm not wrong, you wanted to know how to solve it or how to submit it, or you didn't get the material. What is it?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Chalo. So let's end this session and see you all next class.